Welcome to African Couch Potato, the mashup. This is episode 46. Last week we took a look at film scoring, and today we will be looking at stunts, the people who put their lives on the line for your entertainment. Basically modern day gladiators. I'm joined by Katja Hopkins and Craig Macrae from Titan Stunts. How are you guys?
Very well, thanks.
Good. Thank you so much for the beautiful intro.
I'm going to start with you, Craig. What are stunts?
So stunts is basically anything that has to do with any kind of action that you might see in any film on television or on the cinema. Basically, it can go from anywhere as basic as somebody receiving a slap on screen all the way up to something very complex like wire work, vehicle action, hand-to-hand combat scenes, firearms work, anything that involves any kind of cool design that has some danger element or action element to it. That's kind of what the stunt department takes care of from top to bottom. They might design the action, write it, design it, rehearse it, and then shoot it. Other times a production will already have a very good idea of what they want, and then the stunt department will be responsible for rehearsing and executing it.
Is it limited to dangerous stuff? What if it's just like a dance scene or a slapstick comedy?
So, like I said, we take care of a lot of different things on a film set. Very often, like I'm an action director and an action designer, I often get approached to design entire scenes that are kind of centered around action, but very often it kind of departs from that. And we might take care of something very basic, like you mentioned, a dance scene, or something where maybe an actor just needs a little bit of safety equipment or a little bit of like a safety measure to take care of them in case they're, for instance, in a dance sequence, they might be standing up at a bit of height. And then what's needed is, of course, just a safety line and a harness. The stunt department and the stunt rigging department will take care of that kind of stuff, from very small things all the way up to the very big things. So stunts is very much involved in the grassroots, you could call it, of creating any kind of action for film.
Right, the reason I'm asking about dance is because Katja fell in love with theater when she watched The Sound of Music, so she was into performance. Can you talk us through that?
Yeah, that was my 4-year-old self, I guess, that just, it was one of the first things I can remember watching was The Sound of Music, and I was absolutely blown away that people can make a living from singing and dancing and just having fun. So that became my life mission. And I did study theater, so I had actually no clue about the world of stunts and that people pursued stunts. I honestly thought that actors do their own stunts. So I was quite surprised when I realized there's this whole other world out there that I knew nothing about. And then I kind of changed directions a little bit when I discovered the world of stunts.
And then you go to the University of Stellenbosch,
yeah,
and they shatter your hearts by telling you that your English marks are not good enough. How is there a correlation between English and slapping people?
That's what I also want to know. I actually wanted to slap them when they told me I didn't get in, to be honest. But yeah, I was quite upset because Stellenbosch is an Afrikaans university, so I didn't understand how my English grades could have anything to do with it. But I managed to convince them to get me in.
Then after 3 years at Stellies, you go and do honors at UCT. Is this more intensive, or do you now have to do things that you don't like just to get that qualification?
No, it was very cool. I love studying at UCT. It was very different. Stellenbosch was all about theatre. And then at UCT, we actually did some acting for camera. And I loved that. That's, I think, where my mind shifted from doing theatre to film. And I sort of pursued my film career from then on out.
Then we fast track a couple of years. You're in and out of jobs. You're not securing anything. Then you work for Mad Max. Firstly, how was that experience? And then how was the deja vu of re-meeting Craig in 2017?
So cool. Mad Max was an incredible job. I think if you ask most South Africans that worked on Mad Max, they'll all tell you like that was the highlight of our career, being a part of such an incredible show. It was an insane process to just get cast. We went through like 3 very intense rounds of auditions where we had to do push-up skill failure, squat skill failure, pull-ups, what did we do? Sit-ups, we had to do
climbs,
low
balance
climbs,
beams,
yeah, fights.
obstacle courses, fight scenes,
It was-
motorcycle stuff, car stuff.
Yeah.
It was intense.
It was
We did
super,
so
super
much.
intense. So everyone that actually managed to get onto the job, we felt very proud of ourselves. And that is where I met Craig for the first time, like you said. We didn't really have much to do with each other. I was stuck in a car because I doubled one of the females, and they are in the war truck throughout the whole movie. But yeah, he was around, and then we, like you said, we rekindled on a job called Troy a couple of years later.
On Troy, when you see Craig, are you looking at a stunt major or a potential love partner?
Well, my first thoughts were, the last time I saw him, he was just a stunt man, and now he looks like a stunt coordinator. So that definitely blew me away. Those couple of years of not seeing him, it was quite amazing to see how much he'd grown, and it was very obvious, from a scrawny little stunt man at 20. How old are you? 22, 21 years old, becoming a stunt coordinator. It was quite a vast jump, and I hadn't seen that growth, and it was very cool to see how much he changed, how his knowledge had changed about film and about stunts in particular. All of a sudden, he knew how to choreograph very intricate fights. So yeah, that was very intriguing to me, I shall say.
That's a flattering name. So, listen to it.
Craig, what's the difference between being a stuntman and a stunt coordinator?
Wow, so that was quite a big shift for me. Naturally, I kind of suited the role of a stunt coordinator better than I did a stuntman. Not to say that I didn't enjoy my career as a stuntman. I loved it. I think the biggest shock for me was that being a stunt coordinator was a whole lot less physical than being a stuntman. I was used to moving every single day and obviously being involved in fights on screen or running rigs and all those sorts of things. That was kind of my day. Was 90% of it was moving and was active. When I became a stunt coordinator, because it's obviously a lot more centered around design and safety and planning and administrative stuff as well to make sure that you can pull these things off. I got quite a big shock when I realized that a lot of my time was spent at a desk busy working on a computer. Most of my time was absorbed by just planning things and making sure that people were safe and that risk assessments were in place. So that was a big shift for me. The rest of it was great. I loved becoming a stunt coordinator, learning all new skills and kind of being involved in the creation of the project rather than just being a piece of it. That was great for me. I really enjoyed that.
So going from actually fighting to now designing the fights, does it not feel like you've just gone through therapy and lost all of your anger issues?
Well, I think becoming a stunt coordinator, I got some more anger issues because I didn't have an outlet then. I needed to smash some stuff,
And then just going back into the stuff that you've worked on, we mentioned Mad Max, we mentioned Troy, and then there's also Resident Evil. Was that largely on your side, Katja?
Yeah, I was a stunt performer. I didn't have a very big part. They used a lot of stunt people in the ensemble, so they just chuck us in all the scenes. So yeah, that was my role. I didn't double any females on that one, but I was a zombie and a monster and all sorts. A lot of prosthetics.
So you basically were not fighting as much.
No, I was being thrown around, flung around. I hit concrete a couple of times, that
taking
type,
bullet hit reactions.
Yeah, that type
and
of
those
stuff.
sorts of things, yeah. Actually, my brother had a very, very big part to play in Resident Evil. He was the motion capture performer for all of the major zombie scenes with all of the special creatures and things like that. So my brother does a lot of creature movement speciality type stuff for movies like Resident Evil. So almost every single major zombie that you saw in that wasn't just a normal zombie performer. That was actually my brother, Owen.
What are the safety elements? So while Owen is teaching people how to get thrown around and is working with motion design, you have Katja who's just lying down and trying to die beautifully. What are some of the safety elements, like in terms of hitting your head against concrete or somebody shooting you by mistake?
Every stunt performer needs to make sure that they have the correct set of skills to make sure that they can take care of themselves to a degree, right? That's why we require performers that have a very high level of skill so that they know when they're asked to do a bullet hit while they're at a flat out run, that they're not going to fall with their face first and break their neck, because obviously a stunt coordinator can only do so much to take care of his performers. His performers also need to know how to take care of themselves. If you're asked to do a flip out, you need to know how to land properly out of that flip so that you don't break a bone or hurt yourself seriously, you know. So there's a very large degree of stunt performers managing themselves and managing their skills and practicing those skills so that they can protect themselves to a large degree. And then, of course, there's a lot of onus on the stunt coordinator to make sure that he has planned things correctly, that he's not asking stunt performers to do something that is outlandishly risky or unplanned or unrehearsed. Of course, the stunt coordinator is responsible for making sure that things are very well rehearsed, very well planned and thought out, so that nobody is being asked to do something on the spot without any kind of preparation or rehearsal for it.
And where we can, we'll chuck in some mats, and where we can, we wear padding. And like Craig says, it's all about rehearsal a lot of time, especially with intricate fights. There's a lot of time, a lot of prep, a lot of rehearsal that goes into it, that every single person knows exactly what it is that they need to do and where they need to be. And that's how we take care of safety.
So after all of that prep, making sure you're safe, training rigorously, acquiring a large number of skill sets, nobody knows you exist. How do you deal with that?
How do we deal with it? It's a tough one to swallow. It's not easy. I mean, we love what we do, but it's very true what you're saying. A lot of people don't know that the stunt department exists. They don't know how much we're involved from the start to the finish of a product, and that we're actually everywhere. We're everywhere. You see us on screen without knowing that you're seeing us.
There is an element of trying to keep it a little bit secret in the industry. That has been something that's been happening throughout the history of the industry. I think it's partly because, of course, they want people to think that actors are doing their own stunts. And to be fair, there are some actors who are doing a lot of their own stunts to varying degrees. So yes, they deserve that kind of praise. But even in that case, when you have actors doing their own stunts, all of those stunts that actor is doing has already been tested by a stunt team thoroughly, and someone else has put their life on the line to try it for the first time. So when you see something that's happened on film, for instance, with Tom Cruise doing something awesome, it's not him doing it for the first time ever and pulling it off. It's something that has been designed and choreographed by a stunt team and being tested rigorously to make sure that it's safe, and then they will put the actor in there and the actor will go. So it's not one or the other. It's obviously always a team effort. A film set doesn't work unless everybody is working together, so no one deserves more praise than the other, of course. But there has been this undertone in the industry for a long time that the public shouldn't generally know that there's a stunt team behind it. Otherwise, the illusion is lost, you know. But it does become frustrating because, of course, we spend our entire lives perfecting skills, literally putting our lives on the line as well to deliver these products to screen. And it can be quite painful to, you know, not be recognized for that kind of contribution.
But all good work deserves recognition, no?
Absolutely.
We should hope so.
I think it does, definitely.
Yeah. That's why we've started what we've started with SAFFA Stunt Awards.
Tell us a bit about the SAFFA Stunt Awards.
We want to create a platform that is available for people to be recognized for what they do. We're tired of, you know, flying under the radar and nobody ever gleaning any kind of recognition towards what we do. And we want our stunt guys that are in South Africa particularly, but the world over as well, to have just a little bit of recognition for all of the hard work, blood, sweat and tears that they put into their livelihoods and into these projects.
Yeah. So the idea came about because we were actually having a conversation about the fact that it feels so unfair that we work so hard. And when I say we, I mean my peers, my friends that are in the industry as well. We've had a couple of our friends that have doubled for A-list Hollywood stars, mega stars. And then when they watch the film and they watch the credit list come up, their name's not there. And it's a very sad thing to go through because I feel like Craig was saying, they've worked so hard, and for their name not even to appear on screen feels really unfair. And yeah, it's just something that we often discuss in the stunt community amongst ourselves, that we wish we would be recognized. And so while Craig and I were having this discussion, we kind of just said, sure, we should just organize this ourselves. If no one's going to do it for us, should we not just be the ones to start this initiative? And it kind of was just something that we said, and then had let, nothing came about it, but it kept coming up in conversation until we realized if we're still talking about it, then we need to do it. We need to be the people. We can't expect someone else to do it. So we've registered the SAFFA Stunt Awards. It's a non-profit company because it's for the community. It's not something we're trying to do for ourselves. It's really something we want to do for all the players in the field, from stunt performers to coordinators, even makeup and prosthetic artists, action camera operators, motorbike riders, you name it. We want to create a space where we can recognize, shine, and celebrate these incredible people.
And this will be the first event now in 2024. What are the 14 categories?
What are the 14 categories? All right. So let me list them. So best stunt coordinator / action director. We have a best fight design. So that's for the fight choreographers, the person that actually designs the fights. Then we have a category for fight performance. So those would be the performers in the fight. So whether that's 2 or 3 or 4 people that are in the lead fight, that's a category for them. We have best male and best female stunt performance, which we have to have. That was something very important to me because as women, we've also fought very hard to sort of take a stand. Back in the day, it only used to be men working in stunts. Now there's a handful, or more than a handful, actually quite a lot of really, really talented female stunt performers. So we want to shine a light on them, of course. Then we have best riggers. We have best rigging because the riggers do an incredible job, like Craig also mentioned a while ago. We have best vehicle action. We have some incredible stunt drivers in our country. And then we have, what am I missing?
So that's best, also best work with an animal.
Yeah, well, so we've got best speciality stunts, and that can be people that are doing work with animals or that are doing water stunts. Again, the diversity is insane with the type of stunt work people do. Some people are base jumpers and they do stunts in the films, and we want to give them a space to be recognized as well. And then we have, best camera operator. Again, the guys that are on camera often are around the danger. They are so close to explosions and bombs. For them to capture those moments on screen is very challenging, and it's quite amazing what they can do. Also, filming a fight is very difficult because fights are moving very quickly, and you have to be very skilled to actually be able to capture those moments. So we wanted to have a category for the camera operators. And then we've added 2 that are really just for laughs and for fun. The one is called best/worst wig, and that's because stunt doubles, we wear some funny wigs sometime, and it really all depends on the budget of the film. If we're working on a big budget film, there's a lot of money to invest in wigs. And then we get to look good. But sometimes the money needs to be spent elsewhere, which is very fair. It should be. And as a stunt performer, you're also, you're constantly moving. So the audience doesn't have time to sit and look at your wig. But we wear some funny looking wigs. And I've seen so many photos that are hilarious. So we have a special category for that as well. And then the last one is best gag reel or best blooper reel. Yeah. Because we've seen some funny stuff there as well. Like a breakaway is supposed to break and you just hit it at the wrong side or the wrong corner and the prop doesn't break, or you react in the wrong way. That happens, and we like teasing ourselves about that too. If you get slapped from one direction, if you react in the wrong way, that's embarrassing and funny, and we should have a moment to be able to laugh at ourselves as well.
And have you thought about the judging panel, or is everything just going to go to Owen?
Owen should get it all, definitely. No, we have definitely. So this is a community-based thing. So the members will be the judges. So we have a process. There's an application form that people will sign up if they want to become a member. They then get a membership number, and with that membership number, they're able to submit their own work or work of others that they want to see in these different award categories. And then once we open up our voting period, the members will go onto the platform and they will be the ones voting for each and every category. So Craig and I are not voting. If Owen's a member, he can vote for sure. But yeah.
We want to avoid any kind of, because this whole project is designed to benefit the community, we want to involve the community as much as possible. If we had a judging panel in place of 4 or 5 people, it would kind of open up a bit of a political debate as to whether people are voting with their hearts or technically voting. And we don't want to kind of open up the field to that type of thing. We want to keep it nice and clean and even, to be as transparent as possible and allow the community to decide, because obviously whoever's done the best work and has the most incredible or impressive piece of action that they've done, whether they shot it, performed it, whatever it is, their peers will vote for them, and they will decide. Whoever gets the most votes then wins that category.
And we copied this strategy from overseas. This is how it's done overseas, and it seems to work very, very well. So we saw that's how they do it internationally. So we thought, let's just copy that exact process and let's see how that goes. Of course, like you said, this is the first time that we're going to be doing this. So I'm sure we're going to learn a lot throughout this year, see what works, what doesn't work. Maybe we decide a category isn't suited for next year, or we add a new category. I think we might be adding some, because I've had a couple of people that also want a voice for voiceover artists and some other things. But yeah, we'll learn throughout this year, and then we'll adapt as we go each year.
Excuse me, you mentioned voiceover artists, but with stunts, one would assume it has to be physical. How would that work, if you've given it any thought yet?
Yeah, so I think the lady that contacted, there's a lot of they do voiceovers for different languages, and I guess because they feel like they're doing a lot of athletics with their voices, they feel like they want a category. Maybe it's because they don't have their own award ceremony. I'm not really sure. It was not something that came to my mind at all, voiceover artists, to be honest. But I've been approached by a couple, and we want to do something that's good for the industry. So yeah, we'll think about it. If it feels like we can find a spot for them, we will.
Yeah, it's been a bit of an evolution, because obviously we started this thing, and as the name suggests, it's purely for stunts and action related things. During the whole journey of setting this all up and making it public and everything, we've had so many people approach us who are very excited and who want to see this kind of award ceremony spread into their field or include their field as well. So this is an evolution. Obviously, the first year we are mainly focusing on anything that's action related, because that's where we come from. That's our background. That was the idea for this entire thing, was to create recognition and, like Katja said, to shine a light on the stunt performers who've been unrecognized for so long. But hopefully in the future, if we can create something that will have a lot more inclusion for different fields of people, especially in South Africa, I suppose, because a lot of the professionals over here do go very often without a thanks for their work and their contribution to big international films. Maybe we can create something that will recognize as many people as we can, you know.
It's a bit of a mammoth task, and since you guys are an NPO, what are some of the assistance that you require? Because obviously there's projectors, there's venue costs, there's statuettes, staff members, people showing people where to sit down, stand up, when to go.
So at the moment we're funding this ourselves because we want to see it through. So we've decided, we've made a personal commitment that we're going to put as much of our own money into it as we can. Last in November, we actually hired someone in the office with us full time, because Craig and I also have our own company and we're doing a lot of things on the side. We just do need extra help. So we've hired her through our own funds. But exactly what you're saying, we do need a lot of assistance, and I'm hoping to still find people that want to jump on board and help us in any way that they can. But yeah, we need money for venues and projectors and the actual trophies themselves. Just the day-to-day running costs of a company are expensive, as most people know. So at the moment, we're in a process to try and reach out to all sorts of companies, big and small, just to see if they are interested in joining our mission and supporting what we're doing.
And if there is somebody who is interested, how would they get a hold of you?
They could get a hold of us via email. The email is info@SAFFAStuntawards.co.za. So that's a pretty easy email address to remember. Or they can hit us up on Instagram or Facebook, because social media is life these days. We're the age of social media. But yeah, email or social media would be the way to go.
All right, and just one last thing before I let you go. You are jetting off to Mumbai.
Yes, we are.
Is this what you live? You live a rock star life, and then we only get a hold of you when you're around in the country?
We definitely live the rock star life. We actually do a lot of work in India. We've broken into the Bollywood market, which is so much fun, especially for stunts, because they love big stunts and big action. Bollywood is very dramatic, and we love it. So we are flying out tomorrow, and then we'll be gone for 2 2 weeks, but we're always available on social media and on email, and we've become very good at multitasking because we will do a whole lot of different things. So we'll sleep when we're dead.
Thank you so much. That was Katja Hopkins and Craig Macrae from Titan Stunts. For me, remember, also find us on social media. We are African Couch Potato, except on X, where we are African Couch Pot. Remember to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Audible, Deezer, all of them. As usual, until next time, goodbye and keep binging.
See ya. Thank you.